Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. Welcome to First at 4. We're learning charges have been filed after a horrific attack between two young sisters in Taylor. A 7-year-old girl is dead after her 13-year-old sister stabbed her. Let's get to Shante Passmore with the very latest details from prosecutors.
Taylor police walked me through their investigation into the deadly stabbing Saturday. The girls got into a tussle for a bit, but cooled off for a time. Later, the Wayne County prosecutor says it's alleged that the teen waited in the bathroom until her younger sister came in and stabbed her multiple times. Investigators say the parents were not home at the time when the older sister got a hold of a kitchen knife, followed by a Bowie knife. According to police, the younger sister had roughly 10 stab wounds.
It's tragic, you know. As a parent, you don't expect that for anybody in the world. All I can say is it's shocking and it's very tragic.
The prosecutor reports the teen was scheduled to appear in court for the first time earlier today. She's facing charges of first-degree premeditated murder, felony murder, and child abuse first degree. And police say the parents allowed the older sister to babysit. In fact, investigators said, Karen, that it was the 13-year-old who called police for help, and neighbors said it wasn't uncommon for the pair to be running throughout the neighborhood with their friends. And coming up at 6, we are going to hear from the Taylor School District and how it's handling this loss. Reporting live, Shante Passmore, Local 4.
Can't imagine handling that loss. All right, Shante, we'll check back with you. Thank you. Well, a pair of friends have died in a Warren crash involving a police car. It happened early this morning. Nearby, there was a police chase happening this morning, and according to police, that has caused some confusion. An emotional scene at the crash site earlier today. Friends and family of the two men who died were there looking for answers when some sort of fight broke out. Now, this happened just minutes before we spoke with police to get more clarity on what led up to the accident.
And I want to make one thing very clear. There was a vehicle pursuit related to a break-in that occurred 2 hours after this unfortunate accident. We know these suspects in the break-in are not related to the accident. Okay, by that I mean the occupants of the white Dodge Ram, the white Dodge Durango. We know that they were not the same suspects we were pursuing for the break-in.
Now, we didn't get many details from police as the crash is still under investigation. We are told 2 officers were in that police car. Both are seriously hurt and in the hospital this afternoon. Well, if you use Verizon, you might be having some trouble with your phone today. Thousands of Verizon users are without service following a widespread outage. More than 104,000 users across the U.S. reported having little or no service. That's according to Down Detector, which tracks user reports of internet disruptions. Verizon posted on social media that it was aware of an issue impacting service and says it is working quickly to resolve it. This week, Michigan taking center stage in the 2024 election. Republican vice presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance will visit Auburn Hills and Marne on Wednesday. Meantime, the Detroit News reports Vice President Harris will visit Flint on Friday. Now, we're working to get that confirmed ourselves. Meantime, tomorrow night, Senator J.D. Vance and Governor Tim Walz will meet for the first time on the debate stage. The CBS News vice presidential debate is happening in New York City. Will be 90 minutes with 2 breaks. Microphones will be open the entire time, so both nominees can comment during each other's answers. You can also watch live debate coverage starting at 8 p.m. tomorrow on Local 4. Communities across the Southeast now in crisis mode right now after Hurricane Helene's landfall. It's not over yet. More rain could be headed to the Appalachians, which is the last thing people there need. Raging floodwaters just swept away homes, leaving many people struggling to find loved ones. More than 100 people are confirmed dead. Kimberly Gill joins us now explaining North Carolina is really one of the hardest hit areas.
It is, and good afternoon to you, Karen. We're talking about damaged roads, no power and no cell phone service. More than 200 people have been rescued from floodwaters in North Carolina. That's according to the governor's office there. The Department of Transportation said more than 400 roads are closed in the state, making rescue efforts much harder. So take a look at this video. This is Lake Lure in North Carolina's Rutherford County. It's filled with wooden debris. Rutherford County is where, if you're familiar with the Carolinas, it's where Asheville, North Carolina is. The 100-year-old Lake Lure Dam was damaged by heavy flooding. Many phone lines are out of service there. Supplies were airlifted into the region, and people lifted out because roads are cut off by flooding and debris. President Biden spoke today about the rescue and cleanup efforts underway and why he hasn't hasn't paid a visit yet.
I want them to know we're not leaving until the job is done. I also want you to know I'm committed to traveling to the impacted areas as soon as possible, but I've been told that it would be disruptive if I did it right now. We will not do that at the risk of diverting or delaying any of the response assets needed to deal with this crisis.
Former President Trump is in Georgia this afternoon to talk about the storm's impact and hand out supplies. In the meantime, communities impacted by Helene need all the help they can get. A Michigan task force is actually down in North Carolina right now doing everything it can to help those in need. A few dozen volunteers from Michigan are providing assistance to people in the middle of all of this devastation. So we'll have more coming up on the news later today on Local 4. Karen, until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ken. Great Lakes Water Authority teaming up with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to find some ways to reduce flooding across Michigan. The GLWA announced their partnership with the Army Corps with a signing ceremony earlier today. Organizers say the study aims to reduce flood risk across southeast Michigan. One official says it's a problem they needed to come together on.
Army Corps of Engineers are experts in flood mitigation. This is what they do. Great Lakes Water Authority, we're a big utility and we build a lot of very big projects, but nothing of this scale. But they have. They are experts in it. They can bring to bear federal partners what's going to happen with the climate, what's going to happen with the Great Lakes water levels. Their engineers have been through these types of studies and these types of designs before.
Officials say at the study's end, a plan will be presented for consideration and funding. Taking a live look at Ford Field. Lions kickoff is at 8:15 tonight. Looks a little gloomy out, but that's not dampening the fans' spirits who are out tailgating. Ron, there is rain on the way. Any chance it's going to impact those tailgaters?
Karen, the good thing is that the rain won't come until tomorrow afternoon, but we are still looking gloomy, much like how we were over the weekend. This view into Detroit from Windsor. Current temperatures downtown 73 degrees, 71 in Howell. Port Huron, we're coming in at 73 in Monroe, 70 degrees on the nose. So when it comes to the cloud cover, it is a little bit thicker in Detroit and southward. We're seeing partly cloudy skies in Flint and Lapeer and in the Thumb as well. So heading out for the game, if you're going to be tailgating, we're right around 70 degrees as we get into the evening hours. Around 8 o'clock, about 69, mostly cloudy and falling down lower into the 60s later on tonight. Here's what I'm going to talk about coming up. Fog in the morning tomorrow, then those showers coming tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures are going up tomorrow, but then coming right back down behind it. I'll tell you where we go with this roller coaster coming up in just a few minutes. Karen?
Ron, Lions back home today for Monday Night Football over at Ford Field. Now, we got a look at the Lions' new black and blue jerseys and helmets 5 months ago, but tonight will be the first time that we actually get to see them use them. So check it out. The Lions posted this to their X account today, getting fans ready for the, quote, black tie affair. Meantime, we're getting a live look at Ford Field. The parking lots are open right now and gates are open in about an hour and a half. Let's bring in Victor Williams, who's been talking to fans all afternoon.
Hey there, Karen. So the fans are really pouring in right now. A lot of them were just making their way through, enjoying the day, of course. You guys can probably hear that music behind me over from Tin Roof. All of these fans getting ready to go to war as the Lions get ready to go head-to-head with the Seattle Seahawks. We've also seen some folks tailgating all throughout the place. One especially, a location that's pretty cool right over here is this area that you see right now with all the folks getting ready for that game to take place. A lot of the fans also are ready to see the new uniforms, including Ben Franco, who's right here. Thank you so much for talking to us, man. Tell us why you decided to come out here on this exciting day.
Well, I'm a season ticket holder as well, and I wanted to tailgate early as possible, and by the time I got here at 2 o'clock, there's already packed, and I like the vibe that's going on right now.
Absolutely. It's pretty cool out here, right?
Yeah.
What was it like also over the years to see the transformation that the team has also made?
Oh man, it's like day and night, like starting like a couple of years ago. And last year was the breakthrough. That's when I first bought my season ticket was last year, and that was like a big year for us. And this year there's a big expectation this year.
Absolutely.
To go further.
Can I ask you also, are you excited about what the Tigers may do also?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm not really watching them. I just hear about them and like, oh man, they they can make it to the playoffs, but they're like on a roll right now, and I'm hoping they go further.
There we go. We're all hoping that. Well, thank you so much again, Ben Franco. Once again, that game is going to be happening at 8:15, so we're just a few hours away.